Sure. I'm Ronghui Gu는. I'm the founder and CEO of CertiK. I'm also a computer science professor at Columbia University. So my research is focused on cybersecurity and formal verification. So I founded CertiK in the year of 2017, and now CertiK has been the biggest smart contract auditing firm and also the Web3 cybersecurity firm in the space. Sure. So my research was focusing in this area, and in the year of 2016, we made a research breakthrough and built CertiK OS, which is the world's first fully verified multiprocessor OS kernel, and is proven to be hacker-resistant and anti-bugs, basically bug-free systems, and it's being used by DARPA, U.S. Army, and deployed on the unmanned ground vehicle called the Landshark. And in the same year, there's a big attack on the Ethereum ecosystem. It's called the DAO attack, and leads to more than hundreds of millions of dollar worth of financial loss, right? People are looking for new and novel technologies that can address the challenges in smart contract in the space. And Ethereum came to us, and we believe it's definitely it's highly demanded, and there's a big market for it. So we started CertiK and focuses this area to use our research results, using our technology to help improve the security of smart contract and blockchain ecosystems. Yeah, it's really a great question. Traditional Web2 security, right? So the key idea is try to identify abnormal behavior or malicious behaviors in the system, and then try to, let's say, shut things down, isolate the malicious transaction, stop the malicious transaction, this kind of thing. This is very, very challenging. This kind of protection is very challenging in the Web3 space. Blockchain is a world computer that no one can stop. Even if you find some malicious transactions, you can't stop it. Actually, no one can stop it. And also for smart contracts, basically are programs running on top of blockchains, right? It has some unique features, like real-world contracts. Once signed, once deployed, once agreed by all the parties, you can't make changes. A large amount of crypto assets, sometimes even more than hundreds of millions of dollars worth. And also, in order to reach consensus, many of these kind of like smart contracts are open sourced. In a sense that the hackers can read the source code of smart contracts, try to find vulnerabilities and perform attack, and no one can stop this kind of like malicious transactions. So that's why it's so challenging.
Directly related, connected to digital asset.
Yes.
Like cash.
Yes, a lot of asset there.
So what makes CertiK's approach different from other Web3 security companies?
It's a good question. So first of all, I would say CertiK was built on top of our research results. The techniques that I mentioned as formal verification, right? It is a way to perform mathematical proofs for some properties over a piece of software. So you can see it's a really good weapon, right, against the challenges that I just mentioned, right, for smart contracts, for blockchains, right? So if we can prove some properties hold, so then it's safe to be deployed, even if you can't make any changes in the future, right? So this is one part, but I would say, to be honest, especially when we deal with very complicated smart contracts and also blockchain implementation themselves, it's hard to apply formal verification. It's hard to verify many complex properties. So we still need to develop lots of underlying tools, including both static tools, dynamic tools, and model checking tools, and we have to involve all these knowledges with the pace of the Web3 industry. CertiK, our strengths are our researchers, our engineers, our kind of like accumulation in the technology, and also in the number of clients and the market share. So we can see enough number of clients, the code base, to make our technology more advanced. Yeah, sure. Well, I would say crypto for blockchain. I think the most important thing is wide adoption. We hope that more and more people can adopt and embrace and also get a benefit from this new technology, all these new innovations and so on. But for these retail users, it's very hard for them to, let's say, understand the underlying technology, understand the code, to trust this ecosystem, right? How to help them address these concerns and make them feel safe, right? To participate in these all these crypto-related activities and so on. So we think from our point of view, right? We can do lots of education, including our Skynet quests. We can provide these kind of like free tools like a token scan, like a wallet scan, right? Token scan, retail users can use this token scan tools to check, let's say, whether the tokens they wanna, let's say, invest have backdoors or not. For wallet scan, it's more like trying to help retail users to understand the risks of their wallets, of their addresses, and try to avoid, let's say, some potential on-chain risks.
Right. I think that's great. Going to B2B businesses, I know they understand security is very essential, but still many companies hesitate to prioritize due to concerns, delays, cost, which impact their competitiveness. How do you think should companies approach this challenge, and would you give some advice for striking the right balance between cost and
so it's really a good question, and an issue that bothers me, myself, CertiK, and also the entire industry for many years. Look back to let's say the year of 2017, 2018, when there's ICO hot, ICO trend. Most of the crypto companies, although they say, well, security is important and so on, most of them will not allocate enough budget or even no budget for cybersecurity, right? They may say, well, we have a senior engineer to review the code already. We have security experts in-house, something like that. Then when things come to the year of 2020, DeFi summers, right? So more and more companies realize that, well, it's important to work with some external security firms or auditing firms like CertiK, external review of their code, but mostly driven by the community. Because DeFi summer, many users want to participate in some DeFi protocols, but they can't trust. In many cases, they don't understand the code, so they push these projects to do less code auditing with us and so on. So that's a good thing. But well, many projects use this kind of like code auditing as a stem. Like for example, audits a small portion of their code due to the budget issue, or they only audit one version of their code, and then feel like, well, we have STEM, and then let's say they're developing new versions of smart contracts, and they do not audit the rest of code. But cybersecurity is a whole thing, in the sense that any single weak point may lead to a big disaster, and this is definitely not the best practice. So we're still in the process of educating the market that it's better now. It can be improved, right? We hope to educate the market and let the project owners to realize that they need to audit every single version of their code and also every single piece of their code. And also we try to educate the users like to not view code audits as a STEM. It should be a dynamic, evolving thing. So that's why we launched Skynet to post all the audit reports, tell users what has been audited, what have not been audited, and also the security score, give them a high-level idea of the potential security risks. Yes, good question. thing. DeSci, I would say, is definitely a very hot topic right now, promoted by CZ and Vitalik and so on. I was also there at DevCon at Thailand and didn't introduce new security risk. DeSci didn't introduce new security risk so far, but DePIN and AI indeed introduce lots of challenges. For example, DePIN. Right, DePIN is kind of like relies on many IoT devices, right? Protect the security of the networks and so on. And we have found bugs in many of the DePIN devices. It's again different from like smart contracts bugs. Is different from blockchain implementation bugs. Well, the IoT devices themselves may have bugs. And also, most of these DePIN networks, they share the same kind of or same version of these physical devices. And if there are vulnerabilities, critical vulnerabilities there, and utilized by the hackers, they can kind of like crash the entire network and perform this 51% attack. Very dangerous. And at this moment, many of the DePIN network providers, they didn't realize the risk yet because most of the devices are not made by them, right? Made by some other factories and so on, and they have no control and they do not have full understanding of this hardware risk there. So we find many vulnerabilities. We talk to the DePIN network providers, but I would say they still not pay enough attention on it.
I understand you have provided consultation to government bodies such as MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore, and Hong Kong authorities. How are Web3 regulations incorporating security considerations, and what kind of security regulations do you believe are necessary for a future and safer ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a good question. And so I served on the International Technical Advisory Board of MAS, also Hong Kong Web3 Task Force. And I would say that first of all, the most important thing for regulatory framework is that we need a clear regulatory framework for crypto and blockchain and so on. That's really important, no matter how it looks like. If we have a clear one, well, everyone knows how we can do business, how we can design new things, how to make innovations and so on. Right now, the biggest issue is still many regulatory frameworks are still unclear, especially let's say in US. Right, who should drive the market and so on. We hope that with the new admin office, things can be much more clear, and we also hope that this new clear one is pro-crypto, is a pro-crypto one. Well, during our previous involvements with this governments and so on, so the first thing we noticed that the governments kind of like are a little bit afraid of this like crypto, blockchain innovations because there are lots of risks, right? Because they can't fully understand, control and estimate the risks there. So that's how we can help. So that's why also we are involved, right? Provide tools, we can provide these technologies to tell and showcase to these governments that, well, let's say for smart contract security, yes, it's challenging, but we have some existing solutions. We have some industry on-chain risks like money laundering, right? Sanction, all this kind of stuff. We have built-in tools to do this on-chain analysis. We can show them, right, what was the current situation, how we can track them, what actions we can do. Try to incorporate things into the policy and so on. So that's why we're, for example, involved in, for example, the stablecoin policy in Hong Kong, right? We two of our advices were adopted in that policy and so on. That's how we can help.
In line with that, what would you identify as the most prominent trend in Web3 security?
So I can give you some data, like in the year of 2024, so more than $2 billion financial loss due to, let's say, vulnerabilities, bugs, issues, scams in the crypto space, which is actually, this number is more than the number in the year of 2023. But the good news is that, well, number and the financial loss due to bugs in smart contracts and in blockchain systems themselves, this number has been decreased a lot. That's the good news. I would say because, well, the tool chain has been more mature and also more and more companies they realize the importance of security, right? Spend more money on it, work with many external firms like CertiK and so on. Well, then why this total number still got increased? Because we see more and more hacks or just due to, let's say, private key leakage, right? The mismanagement of this private key assets and also insider threats. Insider jobs, right? Yeah. And so it shows that, well, it can like look at these web dApps, right? Decentralized applications. Usually it contains a Web3 part, right? Which are smart contract, blockchain system, and also Web2 part, like a private key management, how to reduce the insider threats, this kind of stuff, right? So now I would say Web2 component has become weak points. So that's why we're also providing solutions like to help. For example, we actually even identify issues in the private key management hardware pieces in Samsung phones, right? So that's why we got an acknowledgement from them and are selected into the Hall of Fame by Samsung. So we have done lots of work along that line. And on the other side, we also provide this what we call throughout team background checks provided by CertiK to help kind of like mitigate the insider threats.
Oh, that's HR too.
Yeah.
Too. So what is your vision? What is CertiK's vision for the future of Web3 security industry, and how do you think the ideal Web3 ecosystem looks like?
So first of all, this security thing is not a competitive edge. Is a joint effort, right? So we need to work with retail users, the client, the project owners, regulators, right, and other security firms, and so on, right, trying to improve the security in this industry. CertiK, right, we hope we can involve as fast as the development of this industry, as fast as the development of the attack techniques and so on, provide security to our clients, right, including Web3 projects, including, let's say, traditional industry corporates who want to enter the Web3 space, also retail users, right? So that's why we try to provide a one-stop, full coverage security solutions, right, to different all these kind of scenarios, challenging and long journey. So also involve lots of education, right? Education and so on. So that's what we are doing and focusing at the moment. Yeah, so as I mentioned, well, it's a joint effort, right? So involve all the participants, right, to pay more attention to cybersecurity and so on. For project owners, I would say, as I mentioned, security is the whole thing. It's not like, if you secure one version, well, job is done. No, you have to try to secure all the versions, and you need to work with external firms. Even if the code remains the same, you still need to actively work with security firms because attack techniques are also involved, yeah, and so on. So this is my, let's say, take-home message to project owners. And then for retail users, I would say, well, do your own research. But we know how hard it is, right? Most retail users they do not have computer science background, right? They can't understand code. So how to do their own research, right? I would say, let's say there are many platforms right now provide data, information of these projects, of these cryptocurrencies and so on, including CertiK's scanner website. They are this information right now, I would say, pretty straightforward and easy to digest, and the more research before, let's say, invest or put the money in. Advice I would say I borrow from CZ during our fireside chat, and the advice he gave is that, well, control the risk by, let's say, when the retail users do investment into some crypto and so on, it has to be within some threshold, in the sense that even if you lost all this investment, it will still not affect your normal life. That can be considered as a safe threshold, right?
Yeah, thank you. It's so great. That's a fine question. Maybe do you have maybe some last comment for our audience at Tokenpost?
Yeah, sure. So I would say during my visits Korea, we are glad to see many, I would say, new involvements, innovations done in the Korean market. For example, our collaboration with BDI, right, the Busan Digital Asset Exchange, and we also learned that the Busan city try to become a crypto city. Right? So it's definitely it's great, very visionary, and we hope that CertiK can help in this vision and help provide security services, on-chain compliance tools, and so on. Try to make this vision, this journey as smooth as possible. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. That's it for today, and thank you for your time again. And I didn't expect this security interview to be interesting.
Thanks, that's
thank
positive.
You very much. You made it very easy to digest.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, that was all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are actually having